loves, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie. I know you saw the title of the video. Amber Heard, is she winning her appeal? Now, I'm going to tell you this is going to get really silly and really stupid, and we're going to do a very big deep dive into this, but we have the mainstream media right now. Y'all know, everybody's favorite, the mainstream, and I don't care what side politically you're on, I feel like we can all admit both sides just lie to us and they spin us stories, bedtime stories, right? Which fairy tale and fantasy do you want to be fed by these people? But they have now come out. We know that Amber just got rid of Elaine Bredehoff, right? Who was the lead attorney, her main lawyer. And she's got a new team. Now, that can be normal when you're doing an appeal to get a new team in. But she kept Rottenborn. Why keep Ben Rottenborn and get rid of Elaine, which has opened up lots and lots of theories to come out of the woodwork as to what is going on. And we'll just have to wait and see what comes out with all of that, because it seems like even though Elaine says she's stepping down, it looks like this is written very begrudgingly. If you look into and read between the lines of some of what is written by Elaine, to me it becomes obvious that Elaine didn't want to step down. She's choosing her words carefully, and I am just curious what interesting information is going to come out of that, because Elaine did a lot of lying for Amber and some perjury from my perspective. So now with that being said, what's this about Amber winning the appeal? So we know, if you guys have been following the situation, most appeals aren't won and don't go through. Now we know that Amber's appealing the verdict as well as Johnny is appealing the verdict against him, right? So everybody's appealing everybody right now. And so Amber did a change in her team, and we'll have to see what that looks like going forward. Now, with that being said, the mainstream media is calling for Amber to win. I swear, it's like, I'll tell you where I'm at this point. This does sound crazy, but I'm almost like, did good aliens secretly come down and take control of the government? And now they're like, let's showcase the evil plans of both political parties and what they were going to do to see if we're going to wake up. Because I swear, the stuff that we keep getting thrown at us by the mainstream media, it's so insultingly stupid to our intelligence. Like, they must think we are incredibly, incredibly dumb, and they do. They absolutely do. And look, some people aren't too bright, obviously. A lot of people aren't too bright. But even like the most non-bright of people that I've spoken to, right? Everybody's like, something doesn't smell right. And not just with Amber, but in general. But that's also just mainstream media. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But the fact is that, first of all, they're praising her decision. You'll see headlines. She's making a great move, okay? But then it's articles like I'm about to show you and information that's basically painting her as already won. Appeals rarely go through, guys. So then at that point, if this appeal actually goes through, so many questions. First of all, she said she has no money. Who's paying for this? Is Travelers Insurance paying for this? Or is there a billionaire in her back pocket? And with that billionaire, are they going to pay off a judge? Who is actually going to go this far with this? Lots and lots of questions, but we're going to do a deep dive into this. And I also want to show you guys what the exact next steps are when it comes to this in season 2 of the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. But before we do, guys, to those of you that are new, hi, how are you? My name is Katie, and on this channel, guys, I cover everything when it comes to trending topics as much as I can, including Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And we just laugh at how stupid it all is, a lot of this stuff, because we hear nothing from Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeff, Airplane, a little black book, an island, or a bunch of names, but we get force-fed this. So let's laugh at it, because this has been ridiculous, and see what we can get from it. If you want to giggle along with us, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell. I would love to have you. Okay, with all that being said, let's look into, apparently, Amber maybe or maybe not winning. This is so stupid, guys. All right, let's play the microphone game. Is it gonna cut? And it didn't. I didn't want to say it before because I've got it all the way over sometimes, and then it just craps out on me. So let's dive in. It says, this is from Newsweek, how Amber Heard can win her appeal against Depp, according to lawyers. And it says, Amber Heard's legal team has undone a major shakeup with the actress's attorney, Elaine Bredehoff, stepping down ahead of the appeal against the Johnny Depp verdict. A number of legal experts agree that the Aquaman actress is making a smart move by reshuffling her counsel for the appellate trial, and some have weighed in on how her team can pursue a court victory this time. In July, Heard filed a motion at the Circuit Court of Fairfax County to appeal the defamation verdict. She has hired 2 new lawyers for her appeal, David L. Axelrod and Jay Brown from the firm Ballard Spar. Ballard Spar. I don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess, as time goes on. It says, in order for Heard's appeal to be successful, her counsel will need to convince the appellate court that there was such a mistake of law or fact that occurred during the trial, and furthermore, that the error caused harm to her ability to receive a fair trial. Eric D. Subban, senior trial attorney and partner at Subban Associates, told Newsweek. So let's see that again. Need to convince the appellate court that there was such a mistake of law or fact that occurred during the trial, and furthermore that the error caused harm in her ability to receive a fair trial. So like one thing they've talked about, and we'll go into more detail about this, the juror, right? Juror 15, well, they've also come out and said there are issues with other jurors, which we'll get into in another video, but that information has started to come out, and there's some blank theories around that I want to get into. But the problem was when they showed that to Judge A, because that's the first thing they have to do to appeal, they send it to Judge A. Judge A said, regardless of all of that, how would that situation have done anything to hurt you or cause prejudice? It didn't. So they have to show not just, well, there was a discrepancy. How did this discrepancy actually hurt her, which so far they have failed to do. I mean, they failed at a lot of things, but especially this time. And it says, the blockbuster defamation trial between the former married couple earlier this year saw a jury largely side with Depp and awarded the actor $10 million in compensatory damages as well as $5 million in punitive damages. The punitive damage award was reduced to $350,000 due to a Virginia law that caps punitive damage awards. Both parties leveled severe accusations of physical and psychological not niceness. Please infer. If I say a word, it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or intimately not nice. It's YouTube, I gotta be careful. Of physical and psychological a word during the televised trial, which was discussed on social media at unprecedented levels. While announcing the appeal in July, a spokesperson for Heard said, we believe the court made errors that prevented a just and fair verdict consistent with the First Amendment. We are therefore appealing the verdict. While we realize today's filings will ignite the Twitter bonfires, there are steps we need to take to ensure both fairness and justice. Subban added that if Heard is successful in her appeal, then she'll receive the opportunity to try the case again, and the trial judge in the retrial will be bound by the ruling of the appellate court. Let's look at that again. So if she is successful with the appeal, she will receive the opportunity to try the case again. And the trial judge in the retrial will be bound by the ruling of the appellate court. Okay, so if they agree to her appeal, we get season 2. Now, we might get season 2 of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial regardless, because if, let's say, she got these verdicts thrown out, Johnny might go after her for all the defamation she's done after the trial. And he could. Now, would he waste his time or money on it? We don't know. That'd be up to Johnny and what he wants to do, because at the end of the day, guys, this was about him getting his career back, and this was a PR move for him. This was really not about the money, right? Which is fantastic. And I think it was smart of him. I mean, he had to pay a lot of money, but then again, you pay a lot of money to PR people, so doesn't really matter. Says, meanwhile, Andrew M. Lieb from Lieb et Law said that Heard is making a smart move by hiring new lawyers for her appeal and stated that she needs a new tone to ensure victory. For Heard, she needs a new tone to reverse her big loss and bring in new attorneys is just how it's done, Lieb told Newsweek. Well, yeah, because there's so many viral moments of Elaine being silly. I mean, the whole trial being silly and people being awful. But the fact that she kept awful mean Rottenborn is not doing anything for her image. Why keep Rottenborn and get rid of Elaine? It has so many people questioning, including me. Go see the video from yesterday about the blank theories coming out about what's going on with Elaine. There is a big theory that she's actually Team Depp. Go see that. And it says, the lawyer previously said that the actress is making a smart and strategic play by appealing the verdict of her defamation battle. Jacqueline Newman, managing partner of Berkman, Botger, Newman, and Sheen, LLP, previously told Newsweek that attorneys like doctors have certain specialities, adding, if you want to appeal a lower court's decision, it would be wise to retain an attorney that specializes in appellate work. I mean, that seems like, common sense. I can agree with that. Depp's lawyers previously branded Heard's request for a retrial as outlandish, but have since said they are confident that the verdict will stand. Well, and they also knew this was going to happen. They knew that Amber was not going to stop because it's Amber, and Amber said she'll take it to the Supreme Court. So they are pretty aware this is most likely going to happen. So that is what the mainstream media is saying. Like I said, it's pretty frustrating because the mainstream media, they keep wanting to paint her as this angelic figure that's just downtrodden, and she's the underdog that's going to come from the ashes, and that anybody who sees any discrepancy with what her did is just some horrible person that dislikes women severely. And that just drives me nuts, because what it shows is that we aren't allowed to have common sense. We aren't allowed to look at and weigh information as a public without being told how stupid we are. And I have some thoughts on this. I think the mainstream media is very interesting because I think they like to bring up issues in society, not because they want to fix the issues and they care about them, but to make us fight one another, to do what I call divide and conquer. So for instance, we're supposed to now believe that the media is a champion for women. This is the same media that lets Native American women and children go missing at alarming rates and says nothing. This is the same mainstream media that when anybody of color goes missing, especially women or children, says nothing. Now, anybody who goes missing is horrible, right? But let's be honest that some people get better treatment than others. And it just is in the United States. Now, we are fighting to change that, obviously. But let's think about this. The mainstream media has talked about how awful and how, people, like, it's interesting. They will take the topic of minorities. I have to be very careful how I word this because it's YouTube. So please don't think I'm being weird in how I'm wording it. It's just YouTube can get mad at everything. So the situation with minorities in the United States, right? Nobody said a word about it until social media came. And when I say nobody, I mean the mainstream media. The mainstream media are the ones that put out and continue to portray stereotypes and do a lot of negative things when it comes to minorities. Why did that change? Why did the media all of a sudden act like they care about minorities now? It's because when we got social media and it became popular, minorities finally got to have a voice. And they used, in my opinion, they took minority voices and the real issues and used them for their own agendas. So for instance, they wanted to talk about BLM, and I'm not here to debate any of that, but here's what I would say. With the mainstream media, what have they actually done to help minorities? Are minorities actually in any better position with the mainstream media screaming about it? I think there's more awareness, which is great, but I think that was because of social media. I think what the media has done is just taken it and tried to use it as a way to say, look, well, all Caucasian people are bad and minorities are getting crapped on. And it's really not. And this is what's frustrating. They do that to divide us and conquer us. So then we're fighting each other and we're creating even more issues with that situation instead of all of us banding together and going after the psychopaths at the top. The psychopaths at the top are the ones that are really doing these things, and they make these class systems. Guys, if you look into the history of some of this, at least in the United States, how like the slave owners made class systems when it came to the slaves, right? Because you had all different types of colors of people. You had Native American slaves, you had Mexican slaves. Maybe not as many Mexican slaves because they're in Mexico and travel wasn't the same, but you had Native American slaves, you had obviously black slaves, and you also had Caucasian slaves. Maybe not as many, right? But the Irish and the Scottish, and I'm not trying to compare that. See, this is a really touchy subject. Obviously, like in this society now, you don't get discrimination for being Irish and Scottish. I'm not saying that at all, right? I'm just saying back then, this is how, and what they did so that the slaves would revolt is they created these caste systems of which different slaves should get which privileges, and it's carried over. Sorry, I get really passionate about this because I've done some studying on the history of this, and you go back even further and, countries and different cultures have been enslaving others even way before this, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking specifically about America because this is where I'm from and these are the issues we're having current modern day, right? I'm not going to sit and argue all the history of that, nor do I think it's appropriate. And I think that's also common knowledge. I think a lot of people are aware, yes, that's happened over the years and over the many centuries, right? But my point is to say, when I see the media trying to portray us, anybody who looks at Amber and says, hey, I don't like what she did. I think that this was fair, right? In terms of what the verdict was. And they look at us as all these people that just hate women. Remember, these are industries that run commercials for devices and birth controls and hormones that consistently make us all ill. These are the same people that ran ads for baby powders that have made babies sick. These are people that do awful, the media are people that do awful, horrible, terrible things. And we're supposed to take our morality from them? So I do think it's funny when I see stuff like this, guys, when I see these articles, when I see these talking heads, and they're talking about Amber Heard, and they're talking about Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp is the ultimate A-worder, and Amber's the ultimate angel, and it's like she can do no wrong. If you guys go check them out from earlier this week, or earlier last week, there were videos I put up where they were like going on about Amber was spotted in Israel in a beautiful red maxi dress, and everybody just ended their lives in the street and were screaming, seeing how beautiful she was, and she's really turning the image around. No, she's not. No, nobody buys that but you guys. I'm sorry, I've got 5 very cute red maxi dresses that I'm not making a big deal out of. Come on, guys. So when I see stuff like this, I am curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see how this is getting paid. And I'm curious to continue this Amber Heard saga because it's just the gift that keeps on giving. But I think we're all smart enough to see through the BS in this. And that's what makes me happy. As a society, we are becoming smarter. No, we're not all women haters. In fact, many of us who are angry are women. And it's not because we're all gaslit to believe different things. In the 90s and in early 2000s, like mid 2000s, yeah, I would agree. I could agree with that. We were all under a lot of gaslighting. But it's that same generation of us that has come out of it, grown and changed and realized what we're actually worth, what we're actually capable of, our actual intelligence, and we can see and sniff BS from miles away. So is Amber gonna win this? Probably not, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens and what comes down the pipeline and how the media spins this. Okay, guys, if you like this video and you like videos like this, I'd love to have you a part of our team. So, well, team, not really a team, but I guess our community? Is it a community? My babes, my bebes. So make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell. We would all love to have you so we can giggle along with you. Also, what do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think she's going to win her appeal? Tell me. I want to know everything. Sound off in the comments. Give me your thoughts. As well, if you like the video, and I think I'll just end it here. And I'm going to be curious to see what you guys think because I love hearing from y'all. All right, guys. Take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. And as always, till the next video, I'm giving everybody hugs. Mwah. Kisses. Stay safe. And as always, your girl. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.